A light tank is a tank variant initially designed for rapid movements in and out of combat to harass and outmaneuver heavier tanks. It is smaller in size with thinner armor and a less powerful main gun, tailored for better tactical mobility and ease of transport and logistics. They are primarily employed in the screening, armored reconnaissance, skirmishing, artillery observation, and supplementing land operations in a fire support role of expeditionary forces, where larger, heavier tanks are unavailable or have difficulties operating safely or efficiently. The fast light tank was a major feature of the pre-World War II Army buildup, where it was expected that they would be used to exploit breakthroughs in enemy lines created by slower, heavier tanks, with the goal of disrupting communications and supply lines. Numerous small tank designs and tank kits were developed during this period and known under a variety of names, including the combat car. FV101 Scorpion. The FV101 Scorpion is a British armored reconnaissance vehicle. It was the lead vehicle and the fire support type in the combat vehicle reconnaissance family of 7 armored vehicles. Manufactured by IFVs, it was introduced into service with the British Army in 1973 and was withdrawn in 1994. More than 3,000 were produced and used as a reconnaissance vehicle or a light tank. It holds the Guinness World Record for the fastest production tank, recorded doing 82.23 km per hour, that is 51.10 miles per hour. Sabre. Sabre is a variation of the FV101 Scorpion light vehicle. It was introduced as a less expensive way of producing a similar vehicle, but with a slightly lower profile turret. It was brought into service in 1995. During initial combat exercises, several flaws were identified. In particular, the vehicle lacked defensive capabilities. As such, modifications were made to the turret of the Sabre to include redesigned smoke grenade launchers and a machine gun. An ammunition hopper sits on the side of the machine gun, allowing the weapon to be more quickly reloaded than a belt-fed machine gun. M24 Chaffee. Chaffee was the best light tank produced by the United States during the time of the World War II. During the earlier years of the World War II, the light tanks that were produced by the United States were the M3 and the M5. Both of these tanks, while they were good, ended up having many major failures during the war. M24 Chafees were actively used in combat by the South Vietnamese Army, Pakistan, South Korea, Iran, and Iraq. While the Chaffee has long ceased to be used by the British and American armies, many countries with less developed militaries still use the M24 Chaffee as a part of their auxiliary arsenal to this day. The PT-76 is a Soviet amphibious light tank that was introduced in the early 1950s. It was widely exported to other friendly states like India, Iraq, Syria, North Korea, and North Vietnam. The tank's full name is Floating Tank 76. 76 stands for the caliber of the main armament, the 76.2mm rifle tank gun. The PT-76 is used in the reconnaissance and fire support roles. Its chassis served as the basis for a number of other vehicle designs, many of the amphibious armored personnel carrier, self-propelled anti-aircraft gun, airborne self-propelled gun, and the anti-aircraft missile launch vehicle. SK105 Carrassia. The SK105 Carrassia is an Austrian light tank armed with a rifled 105mm gun and an oscillating turret. It is estimated that over 700 have been produced. The hull of the SK105 is a welded steel and is divided into 3 compartments, drivers at the front, fighting in the center, and the engine at the rear. Due to its low weight, the SK105 can be transported by C-130 Hercules transport aircraft. The turret of the SK105 is developed from the French design used on the AMX-13, and its gun can penetrate 360mm of armor. AMX-13. The AMX-13 is a French light tank produced from 1952 to 1987. It served with the French Army and was exported to more than 26 other nations and is still in service with few countries. Named after its initial weight of 13 tons and featuring a tough and reliable chassis, it was fitted with an oscillating turret with revolver-type magazines. Including prototypes and export versions, over 100 variants exist, including self-propelled guns, anti-aircraft systems, APCs, and ATGM versions. Xinyong. The model 1981 Xinyong is a North Korean amphibious light tank. PT-85 is the common Western designation of a light amphibious tank whose North Korean name is Model 1981 Shin'heung, built in North Korea for the needs of their army. 500 examples of this tank are thought to be operative with the North Korea Army. Its chassis is based on the North Korean VWT-323 APC, and the most interesting characteristic of PT-76 and 85 is their amphibious capability, and it is thought to have a speed around 10 km per hour in water. Stingray. The Stingray, sometimes known as the Commando Stingray, is a light tank produced by Textron Marine and Land Systems Division. It was specifically designed to use as many existing components of other American armored fighting vehicles as possible to keep costs down. The Stingray was a private venture project aimed at foreign countries. As of 2020, Textron has kept the Stingray name registered, and it was exported for use by Armed Forces of Thailand, who remains the only user. The Type 15. The Type 15 light tank, nicknamed the Black Panther, is a Chinese third-generation light tank operated by the People's Liberation Army Ground Force and the People's Liberation Army Navy Marine Corps. It could become a successor to the Type 62 light tank that was retired from the Chinese Army in 2013. Sightings of Type 15 were reported by Chinese citizens, but its existence was formally confirmed by the Chinese Military of Defense in December 2018. The tank was confirmed to be in service by 2018 and was showcased in the 70th National Day Parade on 1st October 2019. 2S-25 Sprut-SD. The 2S-25 Sprut-SD is a self-propelled tank destroyer or light tank originated from Russia. The Sprut-SD is designed to defeat tanks, hard-skinned material, and enemy manpower by airborne and amphibious landing forces, as well as by specially designated units of ground forces. The 2S-25 can be used by units of ground force and naval infantry as a light amphibious tank. Currently, the only operators of the 2S-25 are the Russian airborne troops, with 24 of these vehicles in service. The Republic of Korea and the Indian military have expressed interest in acquiring the 2S-25 Sprut-SD. And that's all for today. Thank you guys for viewing in. Bye-bye.